A brass band struck up early in the morning at the capital's airport as thousands of supporters awaited Modi's arrival from the western state of Gujarat, where the night before he had addressed a sea of jubilant voters chanting his name. And Modi's landslide win for his Hindu nationalist Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, closes off a chapter of fragile coalition governments, giving the former tea-seller ample room to advance reforms started 23 years ago by current Prime Minister Manmohan Singh but which have stalled in recent years. And despite his party's basting, 81-year-old Singh was magnanimous in his final address to the nation on Saturday, wishing the incoming government success. "And I am confident about the future of India," he said in his televised message. "I firmly believe that the emergence of India as a major powerhouse of the evolving global economy is an idea whose time has come. And unlike Singh and his predecessors, Modi will not have to deal with unruly partners to implement reform that could usher in profound economic changes, with some supporters imagining him as India's answer to former British leader Margaret Thatcher. And with more than 6 times the seats of his closest rival, Modi's is the most decisive mandate for a leader since the 1984 assassination of Congress Party Prime Minister Indira Gandhi propelled her son to office. Starting with the subsequent election in 1989, India has been governed by coalitions. And Namo declared the Asian Age newspaper on its front page, playing on the name Namo, often used for Modi. And Modi juggernaut crushes Congress, the Business Standard's headline exclaimed after Friday's results showed the party of the Gandhis and Prime Minister Singh suffered its worst ever wipeout, winning just 44 of the 543 parliamentary seats at stake in the election that was staggered over 5 weeks. And with almost all seats declared by Saturday morning, Modi's BJP looked set to win 282 seats, 10 more than the majority required to rule. With its allied parties, it was heading for a comfortable tally of around 337. NUS reaches out and the desire for change among the youthful electorate after a slump in economic growth, years of policy drift and a spate of corruption scandals appears to have overridden concerns about Modi's Hindu-centric politics and a spasm of violence against Muslims that occurred on his watch in Gujarat 12 years ago. And in his victory speech on Friday, 63-year-old Modi addressed concerns that his pro-Hindu leanings would sideline minorities, declaring that the age of divisive politics has ended. From today onwards the politics of uniting people will begin. And no words will be enough to salute the youth of India. They led from the front in the elections and rose above non-issues like caste and creed, Modi wrote on his Twitter page late on Friday. And in Washington, the Obama administration congratulated Modi, and said he would be granted a visa for U.S. travel. Washington denied Modi a visa in 2005 over the sectarian riots 3 years previously in Gujarat state, where he was chief minister. And, while Modi was regarded by several critics as a divisive force, the landslide vote for him shows ironically as a unifying force. Jagdish Bhagwati, an eminent Indian-born economist who has positioned himself to advise the new Prime Minister, told Reuters in an email exchange. And Modi is expected to try to replicate his success in attracting investment and building infrastructure in Gujarat, the state he has governed for more than 12 years. And betting on a Modi win, foreign investors have poured more than $16 billion into Indian stocks and bonds in the past 6 months and now hold over 22% of Mumbai-listed equities, a stake estimated by Morgan Stanley at almost $280 billion. And tough tasks ahead, and but with India's economy suffering its worst slowdown since the 1980s and battling high inflation, it will not be an easy task to meet the hopes of millions of Indians who have bought into the idea that Modi will quickly push their country onto the top table of global economic powers. And his party also lacks strength in the upper house of parliament, where backing is needed for legislation to pass. And it's important to be realistic about how quickly they can instigate change. It takes time to, number 1, get economic reforms through the political machinery, and, number 2, it also takes a while before economic reforms actually have a positive impact, said Leif Eskisen, an economist at HSBC in Singapore. And when Indira Gandhi was Prime Minister, it was often said that she was so dominant that India is Indira, Indira is India. The Economic Times echoed that on Saturday, with the headline, "India is Modi. Modi is India." And Modi's ability to rise from nothing to everything has demonstrated that Indians are no longer willing to accept credentials such as belonging to a dynasty or assertion of vast scholarly accomplishment abroad as a substitute for persuasive argumentation. "You have to perform to command respect," said Bhagwati. N. Additional reporting by Frank Jack Daniel, writing by John Chalmers, editing by Roy Gopalakrishna.